You always know more clearly what you do want when you're living some of what you don't want. You always, always do. Jerry and Esther have a dear friend who's written a wonderful book. He has been hearing us for years and gathering resources through his own life experience. Jerry and Esther think he's the best storyteller they know. His name is Alan Cohen, and his new book, newest to Esther and Jerry, is Why Your Life Sucks and What to Do About It. And much of what he has written, he has confirmed with what he is knowing about law of attraction and art of allowing, hearing words from Esther's translation. And he has a passage in his book called, If It's Not Hell Yes, Then It's Hell No. And his premise is that when someone approaches you with something, that if you're tuned in to your guidance, right away you can feel the viability of the offering. And if it's the next logical step for you, you're going to feel a resounding yes about it. And if it isn't, don't string them along with maybe or I'll think about it. Just say no for right now. Now, Jerry and Esther are beginning to understand the simplicity that would bring to their life. In other words, they acknowledge that they, when they get tuned in to Source, can feel the rightness or the wrongness of every turn they make, even in traffic. They can feel, they got on a freeway the other day, and as they were approaching it, Esther could feel that it was wrong, and she still had time to take the exit, and she overrode her impulse with logic. And then they sat in traffic for a couple of hours. And Esther said, I'm going to start listening to that. And Jerry said the tricky thing about that is when you get that impulse and you go the way you felt the impulse to go, you never really have any valid, concrete awareness of what was over there on that other road. So you tend to sort of second guess yourself and say, maybe the other road would have been faster. And Esther said, I suppose it's not really practical for us to unhitch the car and me go that way and you go that way. Then we'll really know which way was the most efficient. But what we're wanting you to come to the place of realizing is that you can trust that. And if you will reach the place that you don't need to go back and gather the evidence that the impulse was right, but instead you will assume that source energy from broader view knows. Now, we don't think any of you have problem with accepting that the broader part of you has a broader view of your life and where you're going, and would give you really good feedback about it. But we think what you question is your ability to decipher it. You don't trust your reading of your guidance. And we say it's time you practice it until you do. Because you're not going to come to trust it if you don't yourself personally begin to follow the thoughts that feel good with thought, word, and action, and avoid the things that don't feel good. In other words, you've got to reach the place where you listen to the guidance that is coming forth from within. Otherwise, you have no guidance. Can you imagine if Magellan, instead of just having 2 points of vibrational relativity, where are they in relationship to where they want to be, got really helpful and decided to include 10 or 20 other people's proximities and destinations in the system? So Jerry and Esther are looking at the screen and they're seeing streets that are nowhere near them. This isn't even our hemisphere, they will say. That sort of guidance is of no value, and yet you use it all the time. You dig up stuff that wasn't written for you, that was deciphered by people not like you and living in different times. You dig up stuff that was written in a time that the language that you know didn't even exist, and you count on translators who had agendas to guide you now. Dear friends, you're out of your minds. You listen to people who are nowhere near you talking about things that you should do when they don't know about your 2 points of vibrational relativity. They haven't walked in your moccasins. They haven't lived your life. They haven't launched your rockets. They don't know your vibrational escrow. They don't have emotional feedback letting them know whether what you're about to do is the next logical step. They can't guide you. And because you haven't practiced guiding you, you default to their terrible guidance. And then you teach yourself unworthiness. And then you blame them for their flawed guidance. And so our message to you is, don't do that. Actually, our message to you is much more than what not to do. Our message is about what to do. And what to do is anything from where you are that feels a little better than something else. Joseph Campbell told you what to do. He said, follow your bliss. Best words we've ever heard any tongue say. Problem with it, in its truest, most literal sense, is that if you are in depression, you can't get a whiff of bliss. If you are in depression, the closest thing you can get to bliss may very well feel like revenge. And we rarely hear anyone say, follow your revenge. But we'll say it to you. If you're depressed, we'll say, follow your revenge. And if you feel revenge, we'll say, follow your rage. And if you feel rage, we'll say, follow your anger. And if you feel angry, we'll say, follow your frustration. Reach for the breath of fresh air that frustration will bring you. And if you're in frustration, we'll say, follow your hope. And if you're hoping for something, we'll say, follow your belief. And if you're believing, we'll say, follow your knowing. In other words, there is no ending to the clarity and the knowledge that Source holds for you. Source is a guiding light that has already traversed the distance between where you were when you launched the desire and where you want to be. Source is vibrationally already there. That's why we say, when you ask, it is given. It is given, 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 it is given. The question is, where are you in vibrational proximity to what you ask for that has been given? Step 1 says, ask. You're doing it all day, every day. Step 2 says, Source will answer. It is given every single time, no exceptions. Step 3 says, I must be a vibrational match to what I'm asking for. And if I'm discouraged that I don't have enough money, I'm not letting in the money that I've asked for that is given. If I keep bumping up against people who disappoint me, and I keep beating the drum of their disappointing behavior, every time I bump up against their disappointing behavior, I launch a rocket of desire, and Source not only becomes that, but plots a very viable step-by-step course for me to get to where I want to be. But if I keep complaining about the people that are disappointing me, then all law of attraction can bring to me is more disappointment. So what it comes down to, 2 things. You have to care about how you feel, or your guidance will give you no feedback. And you have to trust that the feedback that you're getting is from broader view. And until you're ready to really care about how you feel, until you're ready to say, nothing is more important than that I feel good, you will be separated from your guidance. So as we're moving forward here today, we're going to talk about your guidance system. And we're going to point you to different processes depending upon what it is you want to talk about and where you are along this emotional scale. You're somewhere on this emotional scale in relationship to everything you think about. And the emotional scale, on one end of it feels wonderful. It feels like love and rapture, appreciation, passion. It's really about the freedom that you're knowing, isn't it? And on the other end of it, it feels like depression. It feels like fear. It feels like disempowerment. It's about not feeling free and not feeling capable or able to control the circumstances of your own experience. And every emotion that you feel is somewhere on that emotional scale. We want you to leave this gathering today at peace with wherever you are on this emotional scale relative to whatever subject is active within you. We want you to stop comparing where you are in relationship to where anybody else is, because that comparison is not valid criteria. Oh, it is helpful to live in a world where there is so much going on because it helps you in the launching of rockets of desires. The evolution of all species is about that. The comparative experience is essential to the expansion of the universe. We want you to be aware of each other, and we want you to let each other inspire each other to more aspirations. It's a wonderful thing to see someone achieve something and then to find yourself wanting something similar to it. We want that comparative experience for you. But once you have launched the rocket, let your undivided attention go toward closing the gap. In other words, let all of your energy go toward the thing that you are here to understand, and that is allowing. Launching happens without conscious awareness. Answering happens without your conscious awareness. Allowing is where the emphasis that you are about is. So, we think you have named this workshop well, the art of allowing. The art of allowing me right now to receive as much of the well-being as I can possibly muster by activating a vibration right now which will set loose law of attraction, which will cause a culminating of circumstances and events which will ultimately become a manifestation. The art of allowing myself to get vibrationally up to speed with the source energy that is really me, which allows all functioning of my physical apparatus to operate at a supreme rate. The art of allowing means becoming a vibrational match to the energy stream that is really source, that understands everything that I am, that allows the flexibility of my being and the clarity of my mind, and most important of all, the luxurious sensation of joyously living life in this moment. The art of allowing means that I can train my thoughts into vibrational alignment with source energy, who is infinite intelligence, who knows all things, and most of all, knows the value of me. When you get up to speed with source, who adores you, no exception, and you feel the confidence and clarity and well-being that comes with that knowledge, you'll be back to the way you feel the day you were born. You will have returned to the true nature of your being. And we know it's been Mr. Toad's wild ride since then. We know that you've had some ups and downs as you've been compared to this one and that one. And we know you got some stuff you want to clean up. But we are here to tell you, it's easy to clean that up. It's easy once you make peace with where you are. So, friends, we want to say to you on behalf of your inner beings who adore you, where you are is where you are is where you are is where you are. Isn't that profound? And we would like to add to that, and where you are is just fine as far as we're concerned, because where you are is just where you are on your way to where you really want to be. And when you think about it, if you were going on vacation and you had several cities planned, several destinations, going to go here and 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 here, then you're going to come back home. So you look at that objectively and you say, wait a minute, there, home. I'm already home. Why go? I've already accomplished this vacation. I think I will just check that off my to-do list. And we say, you didn't go on that vacation to get it done, did you? You went on that vacation for the fun along the way, for the insight, for the inspiration, for the stimulation, for the improvement in the way you feel. You went on the vacation for the fun of it, and you were born into this body, into this lifetime for the fun of it, for the joy of it, for the thrill of it. Not for the work of it. For heaven's sakes, the universe expands whether you ever get up to speed with it or not. Do you know that? Do you know that? You launch rockets of desire all day, every day, and source energy rushes to them. In other words, you're carving the paths out. This workshop is about you finally letting yourself have the joy of the fulfillment of the work that you have provided through the contrast that you have been living. It's time for you to start enjoying life. It's time for you to start feeling about you and about your life in the way we feel about you and about your life. It's time for you to begin to reap the benefit of what your life experience and its contrast have yielded to you. It's time for you to open the floodgates and let what's piled up right outside your door in vibrational escrow in. And then next month we will meet with you again, and we will have a meeting about demanifestation. because so many things that you want will begin flowing in such abundance into your experience that you will find yourself wanting to be more and more defining about what you put your attention to.